It's Tuesday, September 13th, and this is Drive Check, a Cardfight Vanguard podcast.
Mine's way better. You're crazy.
Yeah, I think 2/3 of us here believe that you are absolutely incorrect. Jack,
Me?
I have a question for you. Yes, I have a question for you.
Oh, okay.
Have you ever danced for the devil in the pale moonlight?
I have. I did just last night.
I know. I was going to say exactly that. We've both been doing a little dancing with the devil, haven't we?
We have.
So I recorded with Atlas on Friday night for his discussion of Link Jokers on his podcast, but I think you've even pushed the boundary even further, haven't you?
I have indeed.
What did you do?
I met him in person and played a couple of games with him.
You've been in his presence.
I have been in the presence of the Atlas.
Evil. Oh no, I have no ill will towards Atlas. And for anyone of our listeners who doesn't know, he does a podcast.
Wait, shh, don't tell them. We don't.
No, I have to tell them because I'm on it, and they need to listen to me being on that podcast.
And don't listen to any other episodes.
No, it's not like that. So he does Nexus at Night is the name of his podcast, and it's also in iTunes. And I specifically wanted to bring it up because this came up in a discussion that I had when I was talking to Atlas, and I think we do need to bring this forward because we haven't talked about this in a while. But Cole and Jack are not Vanguard experts.
I'd speak for yourself.
No, I don't think any of us are trying to be Vanguard experts in our particular program. We're more oriented towards casual players, which is what we are, the folks that we would like to speak to. We want to talk about the fun of playing Vanguard, why we enjoy it, trying to bring people into the game, to give information about the game and help people out. But we are not geared towards a super competitive Vanguard player. I mean, if you're a competitive Vanguard player, please feel free to listen, but we're not going to be giving you exact deck builds with super critical thinking behind all the mechanics in the deck. So, except for that one Gold Paladin Rush deck that Jack came up with in a dream.
Update on that. It's even more powerful than I ever imagined.
Exactly. But we're here because, first and foremost, we enjoy each other's company. We like making jokes and having fun. And what brings us together is Vanguard. And so we talk about Vanguard and why we enjoy it and different aspects of it. But our intent is not to be a competitive guide or a discussion of how to be competitive and successful at playing Vanguard. It's more about how to have fun with your friends while playing Vanguard and possibly other card games that we come across over time, such as Dragon Ball Z or Luck and Logic, which I think, Cole, have you gotten any more chances to play Luck and Logic?
Nope.
Oh, that's too bad. So yeah, I just want to be clear on that. So if we get some things wrong, we're not doing huge amounts of research. We do obviously do some research, so we don't come across as completely uneducated boobs, but we're really geared to just mostly talking about the game and giving you guys a starting point where you can then investigate further on things that you hear about that you're interested in. I just wanted to bring that up.
But yeah, so we can't be uneducated boobs for multiple reasons, one of which Will doesn't like boobs on multiple levels. So we just kind of have to stay away from that.
Oh, well, there is that. But I also wanted to talk about Other resources. So if people are looking for super competitive information, I think Nexus at Night is good. I think Atlas does a good job of focusing on what makes different builds and clans and everything competitive and their strengths and weaknesses. I think, honestly, overall in the Vanguard community, the majority of the content you will find out there is in YouTube. I think Different Fight is a YouTube channel that I enjoy, although some of his stuff is a little off-putting for Americans, but you have to take it with a grain of salt because dude is very European.
Oh, if you think that's bad, you should watch some other YouTubers.
No, I mean obviously, but it's just some things culturally just would not be acceptable in an American context. What's another one? Card Protagonist is one whose videos I've watched a bit. What other ones would you guys recommend?
I think Card Otaku Desu.
Yeah,
no. I don't like him.
No? Well, all right.
I'm just kidding. I don't know. Whatever. Anyways,
But the one thing, and if there are any, I was almost going to say PokeTubers. Do you have a recommendation?
Science of Vanguard.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
But if there are any card fight YouTubers out there, the one recommendation I would have is to be certain that you speak slowly and clearly. Because one of the things that can be difficult is, especially if you're using cards with Japanese print on them, and we can only tell by the picture what the card is, and you're speaking very rapidly and it's difficult to understand you, then we kind of lose track on what card you're actually talking about and what it's supposed to do. So that's where we are. So what do you want to talk about play? I know Cole has not had a chance to really play any card games at all. He's been doing some real extensive traveling over the past weekend. I got a chance to play with Colin, and it was just bad draws left and right. And he literally, like, each time he did his first damage to me, pulled a crit trigger. So that was just a bad day for me. He's building Gear Chronicle. And was getting that going. So finally, in the fourth game, I finally was able to beat him, but that it just wasn't a good day for me for Skype battles. But so, Jack, how was your? Did you get to play some with Atlas yesterday?
I did. I played, I think, 4. I played from like 3:30 to like 6:45 or so to 7. So I played several games, and towards the beginning I was playing with Atlas, and that was going pretty well. It was kind of difficult for me to remember units effects and like when to do things because I hadn't played in like a month and a half, so that was kind of difficult. And then I started playing some of his lackeys that he brought with him, and that was just off. I kept getting like there's this one I was playing Shadow Paladins, and I was at 3 damage, and I no guarded because I wanted extra counterblast, and then I got double crit triggered when he only had twin drive, so I lost that game. The next game I tried going for an early game pressure, and he hit 3 heal triggers and got off 3 heal triggers before I rode to grade 3. And then the last game I 2'd to pass his stride, and if he didn't hit 2 triggers, so I 2'd to pass his stride, and he had to hit 2 crit triggers to beat me, and because otherwise I was going to win next game, and he hit 2 crit triggers and a heal trigger. So that was fun.
Wow.
I love Vanguard. Carry on.
So our errata for this week is the giant robot anime that I used to watch as a kid that wasn't Voltron, because I absolutely loved Voltron. The one that put me off of giant robots was Robotech. So if anybody was wondering that and waiting with bated breath to find out which was the one where they were all on a giant spaceship, it was Robotech.
I don't think anyone was really wondering, but okay.
It's the best I could do for an errata. I couldn't think of anything else. We
Your errata would have been to buckle up your pants and watch Gurren Lagann.
That'll happen soon. I want to finish watching Do Ra Ra Ra, and I finally, for the first time, actually saw the full season 1 of Do Ra Ra Ra, and that is such an amazing show. I absolutely can recommend it to anyone. All right, so any news? I don't think so. They've had a few more regional competitions. I think we'll go over those at another time. We're in a time period right now where we're gonna have to do a bit more filler and a little less on set reviews, just because this huge month-long gap until set 8 comes out. Absolute Judgment is not coming out until October. We talked about this before and how sad I was about the long wait, and that caused me to spend $200 on Amnesty Messiahs. But so we'll do some other things, and I think one of the weeks we're going to look into doing another regional review and looking at the decks that have topped. I've seen a couple where Freeze Ray Messiah was in the top 5 of the regional, so definitely want to talk about that because that's a build I'm looking into, and we'll see how that goes.
But you need to know more than Link Jokers, Will.
Someday.
Also, I just thought of this brilliant idea. You know how like when certain shows have like a lull in their season, they have like a recap episode where they just show scenes from every other episode. Let's just do one of those.
Not gonna happen because I'm not gonna take the time to edit all of that together. So until you drop some dime to get some editing software, not gonna happen. What is going to happen tonight is we are going to do a clan review, and we selected, because out of the official Drive Check podcast top 7 clans in Vanguard, the top 3 were Gold Paladins, Oracle Think Tank, and Genesis.
You sure?
What was it? Gold Paladins.
Gold Paladin, Shadows, and Genesis.
Shadow Paladins and Genesis.
What did you say?
I said Oracle Think Tank because I'm a joker.
You tried to sneak that in there.
What a cheat! Just like the
Cheeky.
just like the CEO at Genesis Incorporated.
CEO Yggdrasil. Anyways, we selected Genesis to go over this week because there is Genesis support in set 8. And most likely we are going to do a clan review of Shadow Paladins when the big Shadow Paladin support deck comes out later.
Set 9 and the tribe deck.
Is it set 9? So that's going to be...
Yep.
Is that going to be 2017? Or
I don't
later
think. I think it's the end of this year.
Okay, cool. So I'll still be alive. That's cool. Dudes, I only have so many years in me. So...
I think you got at least 20 more.
At minimum. Let's hope. So what is Genesis? I mostly know them from the cartoon. It is the clan that Misaki moved to when she even got bored of playing Oracle Think Tank and needed to try something new. So did she switch to Genesis during Asia Circuit or during Link Joker?
I think it was Asia Circuit.
I believe, it was Asia Circuit.
Because Oracle Think Tank just wasn't winning.
No, I think you're wrong. I think it was Link Joker. That's, because that was her surprise when she started playing with the Card Fight Club.
Oh, no, yeah. I don't know why I was thinking you said Legion. That's why I said, it's Link Joker.
Yeah.
But it is?
Yeah.
Yep. So, one thing that we're not going to be talking about is the original Genesis builds, Genesis decks. In the original Genesis...
But why not?
Because they have completely given up on the original. You think you're so funny, Mr. Jack Ryan Lieb. Anyways...
well, let's see. They also gave up on OTT, so they switched to Genesis, and now they've given up on original Genesis.
Yes, and the original Genesis was centered around Artemis.
Buckle down and try harder.
Artemis, the goddess of the moon, and it was a ride chain to get you up to the grade 3 Artemis card, and all the support was around that. The Genesis cards, where the Amaterasu and Oracle Think Tank cards should technically kind of be around Japanese concepts of gods, goddesses, and spirits. And all of their witches are maguses, and their maguses are based around shapes. And all of their battlers are battle sisters like nuns, not sisters like two women that are related to each other. Genesis, all of their gods and goddesses are based around either Greek, or as we call them, Greco-Roman, or Nordic gods and goddesses. Their mystical beings are witches, specifically, and their battlers are battle maidens, not battle sisters. And I believe, which you guys probably know a bit more than me, I believe in the lore, CEO Amaterasu from Oracle Think Tank decided to go on an around the world trip or some sort of voyage, and during that time the Genesis Corporation grew in power and kind of took over the responsibilities of what Oracle Think Tank used to be responsible for. Something along those lines. So
sounds good.
Genesis has become the better version of Oracle Think Tank. Better in quotes, because nothing is as wonderful as CEO Amaterasu, from my point of view. Anything else on the lore?
I just know the main unit, or the original main unit, CEO Yggdrasil. She was originally a Neo-Nectar unit, and I don't know why, but she's now a Genesis unit. And
the story of Yggdrasil?
Yeah.
Did she get recruited with better benefits and
Health plan. It was the health plan.
and the health plan?
More vacation days.
So the original Yggdrasil was actually the heel trigger from Royal Paladins. How's
yes,
that?
And then she moved to Neo-Nectar, though. Didn't she? Is
don't
that the
think
same
so.
character?
I don't think so.
Because I know the Neo-Nectar one is the same character as the Genesis one. I don't know about the Royals one.
Protector of Lotus Maiden Yggdrasil?
No, I don't think so, because that's a stride.
Yeah, you're right.
Which would mean it didn't come out yet.
Yeah, I don't think there is a Neo-Nectar named Yggdrasil.
In the lore,
it
did come. She did come from. Okay, it's on the wiki, so.
Oh, so it must be true.
I blame the wiki.
Anyways, the original main card was Artemis, not Yggdrasil.
No, I'm saying in the lore, the CEO of the company.
Oh, okay, yes.
Yeah, yes.
Wow. Let's just make this argument, this episode, an argument where we argue about everything Genesis, which is a clan that I barely started
even
playing.
Be the top
and
7.
Would you stop? And none of the rest of us have really played. All right.
You okay there?
Who is going to go first? Is it me?
Could be.
I believe so.
Well, first off, I just want to go over what the revelation keyword is, which is Genesis's keyword.
No, let's take one step back.
What
Let's
are you
bring it
doing?
all together. Let's make sense for our listeners. Let's bring some rational thought into this, where the Gold Paladins were a conglomeration of the Shadow Paladins and the Royal Paladins into a new clan. Genesis is also a conglomeration of units from other clans into a new clan in the wake of the Void and other horrible things happening on the wonderful planet Krei. All right, what is Revelation?
Cole, you do it. I don't want to talk anymore.
Okay. So, a revelation ability only activates when the unit possessing it is placed on the specific circle. When it does, look at the top card of your deck, and you may choose to put that card into your soul. If you do, you must choose one of your standing rear guards, if possible, and rest it. Otherwise, the card you looked for stays on the top of your deck. Oh, interesting. So
So-
you
You say that as if that was the first time you read it.
No, I didn't. I knew that. I didn't know that you could check, even if you couldn't actually move it to your soul. You still get to look at it.
Yes.
Yeah, that's why it's
Okay.
better than Oracle Think Tank. With Oracle Think Tank, you just get to look at it and put it back in your deck.
Mm,
And that's the most
I
you
like.
can do.
alright.
And that's why you run stand triggers in a Genesis deck. or nowadays you will.
Correct.
Yeah,
Uh,
or there's units. There's another grade 2 that you run in some builds that lets you stand your units too.
And and there's a restanding Vanguard as well, which would be part of the subclan which I was asked to talk about, which is the Regalia build. First off, I have to clarify for our English-speaking listeners. In English, Regalia tends to mean all of the clothes that somebody is wearing, and especially if they're doing something that's like super high fashion or ornamental type of clothing. That's typically what the word regalia means. That is not what regalia means in Vanguard. In Vanguard, it's either a mistranslation or I don't know how it happened, but in Vanguard, regalia means sacred objects. So all of the regalia cards refer to historical sacred objects that were collected by the Genesis Corporation and are studied by them.
Well,
yes.
I know in the anime and manga Noragami they have regalia as well, and they are also sacred objects. So maybe that's just what the Japanese term for regalia means.
Or maybe I just don't know English as well as I thought I did.
We could have just transferred it over and changed it to what we want it to mean too, as we do with English.
Transferred it over from where?
From wherever, because
Well,
it's not Japanese.
There you
but-
go. No, it's actually the poverty of English. So the definition of regalia is the emblems or insignia of royalty, especially the crown, scepter, and other ornaments used at a coronation. So it's not the clothing, but for most Americans, regalia means clothing and the things that people wear. Intriguing. Anyways,
Snore. Snore.
So, regalia, first off, that subclan, pretty much all of the cards, if you're going to build a regalia deck, you have to have, all of the cards have to have the word regalia in the card name. And there are sufficient cards that you can have a creative regalia build within Genesis. I wouldn't recommend it at this point, although they are coming out with some support in set 8 that might make regalia worthwhile again. The main thing around regalia is that it is almost full support focused on the Vanguard and giving power-ups to the Vanguard through doing soul charging, soul blasting, and whatever else. So regalia is receiving support in set 8, and the primary point of support is going to be well, I'm not going to recommend prehistoric. Well, maybe we will. We'll have to see if people play it and how it plays. But prehistoric regalia Earther, from its skill is Counterblast 1, and choose a face down card named Prehistoric Regalia Earther from your G zone. Turn it face up, so Persona Flip. And when it's placed on the Vanguard circle, if you have a heart card with regalia in its card name, pay the cost. If you do, put all cards with regalia in its card name from your drop zone into your soul, so you get to fully soul charge everything from your drop zone. And since you use soul blasts to pay the cost for things, that's going to charge you up to do all kinds of crazy stuff. And if the number of face-up cards with regalia and its card name in your G zone is 2 or more, so if you have another regalia stride up there, and there is another grade 4 regalia, until end of turn, this unit gets inactivated, Soul Blast 6 to get power plus 10,000 and crit plus 1 until end of turn. And you'll notice that is not once per turn. So if you have 12 cards in the soul, you can do that twice. If you have 18 cards in the soul, you can do that 3 times. Unless I'm absolutely crazy. What do you guys think? It's an activated ability.
Yeah.
So Regalia builds are pretty much just around raw power, powering up the Vanguard, occasionally powering up some other things in the front row. I believe there's another Regalia card that every time you soul charge, it plus 1,000s everything in the front row, things like that. Probably got that wrong, but you can look at Regalia. It's one of the oldest builds in the Genesis, but it's certainly been surpassed by other builds. So let's talk about the one that Jack is most familiar with, the Witches build.
Oh yeah. So first off, nah, I just won't mention that because it doesn't interest Will. So anyways.
What?
I was just gonna mention real quick that the witches, well, there are 3 clans with witches, Shadow Paladins, and Genesis being the main 2, and then OTT having a couple of witch cards, but they don't fall under the category of witches for whatever reason. And anyways, so I am gonna start off by talking about this witch build. Now the witches, they came out in Legion era, and they're more focused on legioning rather than striding. And so overall, I just think that's more fun, and that's why I became more focused with them. And so for my build, I'm going to read it off really fast. And I don't know what Will was talking about earlier about not having intricate builds. This build's super intricate. I got 4 Witch of Eagles Fennel. This is for the grade 3s. 4 Witch of Eagles Fennel, 2 White Snake Witch Mint, and then 1 Fenrir, the other grade 3. And that's just to be able to search it out with your stride fodder. So you're guaranteed to get a grade 3. For grade 2s, I got 12 of those. 4 Witch of Golden Eagles Jasmine, 2 Black Snake Witch Chicory, 3 Witch of White Rabbits Cardamom, and 3 Mythic Snake Jormungand. For the grade 1s, I got 14. 4 Witch of Strawberries Framboise, however you pronounce that. Will probably is going to correct me.
Framboise.
And those are, yeah, there we go. And and those are your perfect guards. Then you got 3 Witch of Quill Pen's Onion, but it's spelled Oneon for some reason. 2 Witch of Melons Time, and you only play her because she has melons. Mythic Beast 2 Mythic Beast Skull. Then you have 3 Fetter of Shackles Gelgia. For your grade 0s, your starter, you have 1 Witch of Prohibited Books Cinnamon, 4 Dreaming Dragon, which is your stand trigger, 4 Stake Fetter Thvidi, which is your crit trigger. One of your crit triggers, you have 4 Witches Familiar Shiroma, which is your other crit trigger. Then you have 4 Witch of Big Pots Lawrier, which is your heal trigger. And you only play her because she has pot. That's the only reason you're friends with her.
Oh, good Lord. I'm sending this episode directly to your mother.
Your stride deck, you got 4 Vanguardner, 2 Fenrir, 2 Witch Queen of Holy Water Clove, 3 Madu, 1 Sabres. And then for your G Guardians, you've got 1 Skryu, 1 Sky Dome Battle Maiden, Hana Satsuki, and 2 Goddess of 7 Colors Iris. And that's the deck. And so just a couple quick combos I wanted to mention. The reason you run 6 grade 3s, all of which are Legion, you really don't want to ride Fenrir. You only have him because first of all, it thins your deck, and second of all, if you absolutely have to ride a grade 3, you're able to search out Fenrir while only playing 1 copy of him. Actually, no, you're not. I don't know why I'm saying that. Probably shouldn't have even included that. Scratch that. So the reason you run so many Madu is because when you're running the witches, generally you want to ride and then soul blast whatever grade 3s out you have. Then when you stride Madu, you get to search your drop zone for a grade 3, add it to your hand. So, and then when you ride again, you get to re-legion. So basically, you're never going to deck out because you have stand triggers that put your entire drop zone into your deck, and you can legion every other turn and abuse your heal triggers that way. So that's why that's good. And also, let me just read off what Witch of Eagles Fennel does. Witch of Eagles Fennel is your your main grade 3 that you're going to want to ride. And what she does is Soul Blast 3 during the turn that this unit legions. At the end of the battle that this unit attacked a Vanguard, you can pay the cost. If you do, you look at 5 cards from the top of your deck, and you add 2 of them with Witch in their card name to your hand. And then you can counterblast 1 when this unit is placed on Vanguard, and then Soul Charge 3. So the reason she's good is because she builds hand advantage. You're only getting 2 drive checks, but you're also getting to draw 2 out of 5 that you select off the top 5. So it's kind of similar to Dragonic Overlord the Legend in that way. Also, your perfect guard is a witch. So if you happen to get a perfect guard or even 2 perfect guards off the top 5, you're able to hoard those in your hand. So it just is a really good defensive deck that the point of this deck is to just defend until you're able to have a couple of good offensive turns, either with White Snake Witch Mint or with the Vanguardner Stride. And that's about it. They're witches.
Yeah, and there is not a perfect guard for Regalia. There's only a quintet wall.
There's a perfect guard coming out. No, yeah, it is. It's the quintet coming out, right? Scald.
I don't know what you're talking about. A Regalia?
Yeah, Regalia.
I didn't see that.
It's a perfect guard or
Yeah, that's the new one.
it was like one of the first 08 not strides, but revealed.
Are you sure?
Positive.
Next era Regalia Scald?
Yeah.
That is neither a perfect guard nor a quintet wall.
Oh, it's not?
No.
Oh, my bad.
Is it not?
I thought it was.
Is it not a Sentinel?
It is not. It's got shield 5,000.
All right,
Choose
we're
3
gonna
normal
find
units
this.
with Regalia and its card name from your drop zone. Put them on the bottom of your deck at the end of your turn if you have a Vanguard with Regalia and its card name. And if 3 or more of your cards were put into your drop zone from your soul during that turn, you may pay the cost. If you do, draw a card and soul charge 1.
We're going to find this. Will's not allowed to ever be right.
Got that right, but that's more like life rather than Vanguard.
Okay.
Anyways. And so that's about it for that build. And I think the last build we have is Cole's Fenrir build.
Which Cole has been like super pumped for months now.
Yeah, and it really focuses on the new support that's coming out in the set.
Yes, it does. Okay, so I'll give off the whole list and I'll go back through the more important ones. So for Fenrir build, your starter is going to be Maker of Fetter Bon. And you want 4 heals. The heals don't matter. 3 Goddess of Deep Sleep Tahro, which is a new one, as is the starter. 3 Dreaming Dragon, which is a stand trigger. 2 Battle Maiden Kurahime. 4 Stake Fetter Thividi. 4 Fetter of Shackles Gelgika. 4 Goddess of Decline Hell, which is your charging perfect guard. 4 Mythic Beast Haiti. 3 Mythic Beast Skull, which is your stride fodder. 3 Unappeasable Biter Gleipnir.
Ooh, that sounds more like a deleter.
She's not. 3 Boulder Fetter Joel. 4 Battle Maiden Kotonoha. Kotonoha. Yeah, Kotonoha. 4 Ice Crest Goddess Svava. And 4 Mythic Beast Fenrir. And then for your G deck, you want 1 Seabreeze. You can always change your G deck. It's not terribly important. Because for the most part, your I guess depending on what your matchups generally will be, you'll want more or less of each. 1 Beast Slayer military deity tier. 3 Goddess of 7 Colors Iris, which is a G guard. I believe it's the new G guard too. 2 Great Angel Doombrace. 4 Mythic Destroyer Beast Vanagander. 3 Mythical Hellsky Beast Fenrir. And 2 Skydome Battle Maiden Hanasatsuki. There we go. And okay, so the more important cards, your starter is incredibly important because he's got Forerunner ability. When this unit becomes rest, due to the effect of one of your cards, choose one of your units, and that unit gets power plus 2,000 until end of turn. And then he's got another ability, Generation Break 1. Put this unit into your soul. When your drive check reveals a normal unit, you may pay the cost. If you do, draw a card. Okay, so really you're just going to use his first ability, or I guess the one right under Forerunner. And that's got a lot of lovely combos with other cards, such as Goddess of Deep Sleep Tahro. That has Revelation. So basically, the cost to use Revelation is you're going to rest one of your rear guards, and your target is going to be your starter, Bond. So you'll rest him, and then when it becomes rest to the effect of a card, one of your cards, then you get to add 2,000 to the unit that rested it. So you've got units that rest Bond, and then you've got units that stand Bond. So you can basically just back and forth. I don't know if it's exactly an infinite loop, but there's definitely a loop to be had.
Well, yeah, he gives plus 2,000 to any card.
It says to the unit that stood it.
Where do you see that?
I believe. Choose one of your units. Oh, just choose one of your units. Okay,
yeah.
Sorry. Yeah, to any of them.
Until end of turn, so yes, it stacks.
Yeah. Yep. And then Fetter of Shackles, Gelja has Revelation as well. And then he's got an activated ability from the Soul. So put this card on the bottom of your deck, choose one of your rear guards, stand it, and it gets power plus 3,000 until end of turn. If you have a Vanguard with Fenrir in its card name, Soul Charge 2, choose one of your units, it gets power plus 3,000 until end of turn. So that's probably one of your more important cards as well, because you can use Revelation, you can stock it, and then when he's, not stock it, but add it to the Soul, use that when he's in the Soul, and then you can give your starter, you can stand him, and then you can give it 3,000. And then if you have a Vanguard with Fenrir, you can Soul Charge 2, and then choose one of your units and then give that unit 3,000. So that's part of the loop right there as well. And then, let's see. Basically, if a Genesis card has Revelation in this set, you're going to put it in this deck. And let's see. For Battle Maiden Kodonoha. Battle Maiden Kodonoha. It's got Revelation as well. During your turn, when a card is put into your soul, this unit gets power plus 1,000 till end of turn, and that will stack. Then, if that card was put into your soul due to the effect of your Revelation ability, this unit gets power plus 1,000 till end of turn. So you can get 2,000 for each if it was put there for Revelation. And it looks like, I think it's any of Revelations on your turn, and not just that card specifically. So that's another neat card there.
Oh yeah, no, yeah. It's since it's auto and yeah, it's just any time.
Mm-hmm. So another thing to think about with Revelation is Revelation only goes off when a card is placed on that either the Vanguard circle or the Rear Guard circle. So it's a one-time ability. So it might behoove you to intercept more with those grade 2s to get to clear your field up, because they're kind of dead weights if you're not getting that Revelation off.
Yeah, and you shouldn't
then-
be afraid of putting things into the drop zone because you'll either charge up your deck or your soul from the drop zone. So go right ahead.
Yeah, and especially with the Dreaming Dragon, which is it's not a new card. It's actually a pretty old card. At the end of the turn, if this card is on the field, you can shuffle it back into your deck, and you can also shuffle your whole drop zone into your deck. And if it had 10 or more cards in drop zone that you shuffle back, then you get to draw a card. So at the end of the turn, you get an extra card to guard with or whatever, and you get to revive your drop zone. And then let's see, we're gonna move down to the grade 4 version of Fenrir, and he's got a really cool ability, I think. So it's GB2. The revelation ability of your rear guards changes to auto. When this unit is placed on the rear guard circle, look at 2 cards from the top of your deck, search for up to 1 card from among them, put it into your soul, put the rest on the top of your deck in any order. So you get an extra card to look at, and you get to choose which one is added to your soul and which one is added or left on the top of your deck.
Yeah, so if you get a normal unit and a trigger, you can put that trigger back on top of your deck.
Mm-hmm.
And this is Mythical Hellsky Beast Fenrir.
Yes. And then
Can't say that word. We're a PG podcast.
I said Hellsky. It's like the capital of Finland.
Oh, just kidding. Continue.
It's not the capital of Finland.
You're thinking of Helsinki.
Yes. I was making
No,
a joke.
I think it's Helminger.
Helminjar? No, that's at the grocery store where they keep the mayonnaise.
It's not called. See, that joke's not funny for 50% of the country because it's not called Hellman's anywhere except the West or the East Coast.
What?
Yeah,
Stop the podcast. What?
it's not called Hellman's here. It's called Best Foods.
No. Bring out
What?
the Hellmans and bring out the best.
Yeah, Best Foods.
That's a crappy logo, or not logo, but name.
Hellman's?
Do they have a?
Helmets is so much better.
Do they have a jingle? Bring out the best foods and bring out the best? Because that sounds dumb.
It's the same thing with what else? Carl's Jr. Do you know what that is?
Hardee's.
Hardee's.
Yes.
And checkers and rallies, yes.
Yeah, it's the same thing.
I am
It's
so
ridiculous.
disappointed with the West Coast. I am canceling my trip to Vegas for later this
It
month.
looks exactly the same, but the white lettering in the logo says Best Foods instead of Hellman's.
This makes absolutely no sense.
How did you not know this?
Because I've never been to California.
You've had like twice the life experience as me.
I've had more than twice the life experience of you, young man.
Twice as fine as life.
I've had more than twice the life experience of Cole. I'm full of life experiences, and none of them have been in California eating mayonnaise,
It's not
which is
just
the worst of the
California.
condiments. Anyways, Mythical Hellsky Beast Fenrir is a word we can
It had-
say.
Mythical Best Foods Beast.
Anyway,
What is his second skill?
his second skill, Counterblast 1 and Soul Blast 3. You may draw a card. If you do not, put up to 1 card from the top of your deck into your soul. Choose one of your rear guards, and that unit and this unit get power plus 2,000 until end of turn.
How courteous.
Yes, and then I should also point out that with this deck, you do not need to stride every turn. Yes, you'll build up those crazy numbers, but regular Fenrir, Mythic Beast Fenrir, has a GB2 ability where you can Soul Charge, Soul Blast 3, pardon me. And then this unit, when it attacks a Vanguard, pay the cost. If you do, until end of that battle, this unit gets crit +1, and your opponent cannot call grade 1 or greater units from hand to guard zone.
That is
And-
cruel.
Yep. And then he's got another ability. When it's stricken upon, Soul Charge 3. Choose one of your Vanguards until end of turn. It gets once per turn, Counterblast 1. When your card is put into the drop zone from your soul, you may pay the cost. If you do, call that card to the rear guard. So you can, even if you use a card to intercept with the previous turn or guard or whatever, when it's stricken upon, you can actually call it back, and you can start the whole revelation thing all over again.
All right. So is that everything that you have for a Fenrir build? Skydome
yeah.
Battle Maiden Hanatsuki?
It's just a G guard. I left it highlighted on accident.
All right, that's cool.
But,
So it looks like Genesis, my overall view from going through all this, is sort of in that mid-range of being both attack and defense, because it gives you plenty of opportunities to draw cards to build up your hand, which you can use to defend. And since Revelation is on place, and it's always on place, it kind of gives you pressure to cycle through your cards and use the intercepts and everything as much as possible. What is your opinion? What do you guys think?
Bushiroad, when developing a clan that's kind of based around hand advantage and like calling units from the soul and using soul charge, they've made multiple attempts at making this like a clan that's fun to play and worth playing, and at the same time good and fun. And I mean, they've made so many attempts. This is finally kind of getting to the point where it's a fun and viable deck to play in the meta, and I think that's just really cool, because I mean, they've taken 3 tries, 4 tries, however many it's been. It's taken 2 clans to do it, and I think they finally kind of hit their stride, pun intended,
Ayo.
with this clan.
Yeah, I like them a lot. They've always looked really fun to me. I like the mechanic of soul charging to soul blast these minimal things in order to get some pretty decent effects. And I think with the new set coming out, it's making it even more fun to play. So I'm very excited to play them.
All right, well, you're going to build Fenrir, and then you're going to tell us all about it.
And then you're going to build witches.
I'm about halfway done with Fenrir right now.
And you're
how
zero.
can you be halfway done if the set's not out?
I've got about half the cards that I need already, and then the other cards are most of them are commons, actually. Commons are rare, so it shouldn't be too hard.
All right. So even though Cole and Jack believe that we've already done this term of the week, I just did a search of our entire history of program notes for all 27 programs that we've done, and we've never...
Are you sure, though? Because there's like 3 episodes that are missing from here because of Cole.
Even if they're missing...
Shade.
I will say it's worth bringing it up again what Soul Charge is. So Soul Charge will be our term of the week. It means so much to Genesis. It's really in that heart of what it means to be Genesis. And the main thing I want to say is, right, it is taking a card from the top of your deck and putting it into underneath the heart card. Filling in, it does not replace the top card that's on your Vanguard circle, but it just goes under the card that is in your Vanguard circle. And it's very important that it's always the top card of your deck. You don't get to pick a card from your deck. It's not a random card that drawn from your deck. It's the top card of your deck. So you have to be aware that you could be soul charging something that you actually want. And you need to be careful about that. Do you guys have any tips and tricks for soul charging?
Play Genesis, play Dark Irregulars, play Pale.
If you love soul charging, absolutely. Those are the 3 clans where you want to soul charge your life away. It helps with deck thinning if you need to get cards out of your deck. If you know you have a bunch of triggers down at the bottom of your deck and you want to get down to them faster, then you can soul charge away. And of course, you have the safety within the Genesis clan that since it has the opportunity to return cards to your deck after they're soul charged, you're not going to lose them. You're not going to lose the ability to have them later. And there are also other, especially like with Regalia, there are some cards where it'll give you effects based on the number of cards with the name Regalia in your deck, in your soul. Sorry about that. And since every card in your deck is going to be a Regalia card, there you go. You're going to have fantastic times with those soul charges and soul blasts. But we're not talking about soul blasts. Those will have to remain a mystery until another time.
What is soul? Well, I guess I'll never know what soul blast is.
Yeah, you'll have to keep listening until we get to the point where we start describing or make soul blast the term of the week. But for now, what
Plot
we
twist.
have to do is
It will never be the term of the week. Plot
through
twist.
Listener mail. plot twist is listener mail. We got an email message from Jerome. It's actually his second email message to us. His first one was in response to just a description about, first off, correcting me on the Murakumo GR grade 4 card, which I don't know if I've ever mentioned is probably better than I gave it credit for. Since it gives drive checks to other cards in your field. So if you have grade 3s out there, even front or back, because Murakumos can attack from the back row, and you give them a drive check, then they're, getting an additional 2 drive checks on their attacks and things like that. And then he recommended that Jack should check out TC Generation in Westminster.
I've been told that by several people, so I'm definitely going to have to check it out.
And they have a Vanguard tournament on Saturdays that starts at 6 p.m. with no entrance fee. It should be less than 30 minutes away from your location. And
do I have a stalker?
He also offered to battle you if you wanted to do so.
Ooh.
And all right, and Jerome also wrote in about episode 26 where we ranked the clans, and he gave us his top 7 with explanations. Oh, yeah. It would take me an hour to read through everything that he wrote, but I will share it with Jack and Cole so that they can enjoy it. But he put number 1 Kagero, number 2 Royal Paladin, number 3 Gold Paladin, number 4 Link Joker, number 5 Nova Grappler, number 6 Oracle Think Tank, and number 7 Gear Chronicle. He also says that Gurren Lagann, or it has 2 N's, right? Is awesome.
Yeah, Gurren Lagann.
So, well, is it Lagann or Lagann?
Lagann.
Anyways,
it's not Lagann.
He also would love to talk sometime about Great Nature, Gear Chronicle, or Token Rainbow. And might want to do a Skype battle. So yeah, definitely. I think the easiest way, if people are interested in doing Skype battles with us, is to tweet at us. Especially in the evenings and weekends is when we're typically, I think, more available. Actually, for me, it's evenings and weekends. I think for Jack and Cole, they probably have more weekday time available for doing Skype battles and stuff if they're interested in doing so. But probably Twitter's the best way. Twitter or Facebook, the best way to reach folks for that stuff.
What a convenient segue.
Well, I don't know, Jack. Did you check the drivecheckpodcast@gmail.com email account?
I did. There's nothing. Otherwise, I would have said something.
So that is our new email address. So I would be happy if people would send us email at drivecheckpodcast@gmail.com. I know it's a lot of letters, but it's easy to type. It's entertaining for your keyboard. You dance all about the keys. But send us any kind of commentary.
Dance the night away with the whatever the heck you said to me earlier.
Have you ever danced with the devil in the pale moonlight?
That.
Did you
dance with the keyboard
watch the original Batman movie?
I have, but it's been a long time.
And anyways,
I saw it when I was 10.
Yeah,
and that's the last time I saw it.
And then you reference Hamster Dance instead, so that's really amazing. But if anyone would like to tell us what we got wrong, or what you enjoy about us, or what we got right, or how wonderful your life has been since you've started listening to the Drive Check podcast, feel free to email us at drivecheckpodcast@gmail.com. I think I've said that enough times. Also be happy if you guys would give us a review in iTunes. That always helps to increase our visibility so people can find us and also enjoy listening to us. And I want to say thank you to SBJ and Nick Burgess for their help and the music from Nick that he's provided us. I think I'm going to ask him to start working on a new theme song for season 2. So we'll be on the lookout for that. And then if you want to reach us on Twitter, the Twitter for the show is @drive_check. And my personal Twitter if you would like to reach me directly and tell me how awesome my knowledge of Cardfight Vanguard is. It's
Or
at
lack
Wash in the
thereof.
Sink. That's WASHINTHESINK. I'm just cutting Jack's commentary out. Don't worry about it. And Cole, you are available at...
Cole_McCune, COLE_MCCUN.
And Jack, where can they put the block on your Twitter account?
And I am at drive_Jack. I was really expecting someone to butt in there. Anyways, thank you guys for listening to this week's episode of the Drive Check podcast. And don't forget, marriage is a business.
I think you spelled marriage wrong.
He did.
Doesn't matter.
But is that
Marriage is a business.
is that flavor text again?